One of the very worst dates I Hey, what's up, y'all? It's me, Jenny here. So today I have got another story time for you. So if you want to hear about one of, not the worst, but one of the worst dates I have ever been on, please keep watching. Before I met my husband, I dated a lot, and I was on various amount of dating apps, and I even signed up for some websites that you had to pay, whatever. So I believe it was a website, not an app, where I met this guy named Steve. That's not his real name. I know what his real name is, but we'll call him Steve. So I met this guy, Steve, on some website, and we were talking through the website, and we were emailing, or I guess chatting, texting, whatever you want to call it, back and forth. Then we exchanged phone numbers, and then we started texting each other, and then slowly text turned into talking on the phone. And we did this over, I want to say, like, from the time we met to the time we talked on the phone, I want to say it took about maybe a week, just because both of us had full-time jobs, and we had other plans during the week, so it doesn't matter. It took a week to finally talk. So we talk on the phone, and he was a cool guy, and he finally asked me out to go out for dinner, and I said that's fine. Now, we tried to find a weekend that we had free, but we just couldn't make it happen. So finally we just decided, let's just go out for dinner after work. And total, like, background for me is that I hadn't been on a date at that point in like 3 years. I was in a long-term relationship. I broke up. It took me a long time to start dating again, and he was my very first date. So I was nervous, and I remember one of my coworkers, who was a guy, he knew that I was starting to get back into the field of dating, and he said to me, Jenny, like, I'm really concerned for you. I think of you like a sister. So if you ever have a date with any guy and it's after work, tell them to go meet you at the restaurant that's across the street from the salon. And if you ever need help, like saving or whatever, just text me and I'll be right there. And I was like, wow, thank you. I appreciate that. So knowing this, I talked to Steve, and I said to him, let's meet after work. After work at that time, I believe, was like 6:30. And I didn't tell him where I worked. I just told him that I worked close by, and to meet me at this specific restaurant, which happened to be across work, which, by the way, like I said, I didn't tell him. He agreed. And I'll never forget this. It was a Tuesday. We were supposed to meet. So when we made these plans, it was, I believe, like the Tuesday before that. So it was 7 days before we were going to meet. Sunday, he calls me, and he's like, hey, Jenny, just want to let you know if we're still on at this restaurant at 6:15. And I said, sure, that's fine. So Monday we talked a little bit. Steve kept texting me, and he's just like, I'm excited to meet you, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, okay, I'm excited to meet you too. Tuesday happens, okay? And remember, we're supposed to meet at 6:15, and Steve lives about 30 minutes away, and that is without traffic. So Tuesday happens, and I tell everybody that I work with, like, listen, I'm meeting this guy who I met off the website. Just have your phone on you in case if I need saving. And everyone said, okay. I was ridiculously busy in the salon, like so busy. From the moment I got in at 9 o'clock all the way to 6, I was busy, and I didn't have my phone on me because in my industry, it's rude. Like, you don't have your phone on you and you don't answer a phone, especially when you're applying someone's hair color. Like, you just don't. Just horrible customer service. And I would totally get fired if my boss saw that. I cash out my last customer, I go to my locker, and right now it's about maybe like 5:59, and because the restaurant is across the street, I wasn't concerned about being late. I knew I had some time, maybe about 10 minutes to clean up, and then I would head there and be there for 6:15. I go to my phone, I get into my locker, and I take my phone to see if Steve had called me to make sure everything was okay. On my phone, do I see like 30 missed calls and like 50 text messages, right? And I'm like, what is going on? And they're all from Steve. So I'm looking at my text messages, and it's like Steve is like writing things like, I completely forgot. Were we supposed to meet today? What time was it? 6 o'clock. And then the next message was 6:15, and the next message was 6:30. And then the next text was, I can't remember. Next text, ha 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 ha. And then he started calling me, and then he was leaving me voicemails like, hey, where are you? I can't remember what time we were supposed to meet. Was it today or was it Thursday? I can't seem to remember. And in my head, I'm thinking, you confirmed this date with me like 2 days ago. How do you not remember? Like, what the hell? And then I'm also thinking, I'm so hungry. I starved myself today because I thought I was going on this date and we were going out for dinner, and I'm starving, and you live like 30 minutes away, and it's rush hour right now. So you will probably get here for like 7 o'clock if we decide to do this date. Anyways, I'm scrolling through my phone, and one of my coworkers comes in, and he looks at me and he's like, what are you doing here? You're supposed to be on the date. And I said, well, here's the problem. He suddenly just couldn't remember what time to meet, and he's not going to get here on time. So my coworker advised me to call him and say, date's done, don't ever call me again. Because he's telling me that there's plenty of fish out there, like, that's a deal breaker, right? And I wanted to be nice because I haven't been on a date in like 3 years. Was like, oh, well, you know what? I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. My coworker says to me, well, it's up to you, but okay, Jenny, you do what you want. He walks out the room. I give Steve a call, and I can tell, like, he answers the phone, and I can tell he's like chilling at home. Like, he's at home, and you can tell he's relaxed. And I pick up the phone, or he's talking to me, and I say to him, like, we were supposed to meet at 6:15, and at that time it's like probably now 6:10. And he says, oh my god, I had no idea. I thought it was for 7. Oh my god. And he starts freaking out, and I can hear him like scrambling. And I was like, well, I'll meet you, I guess, for when you get there, probably maybe 6:45, 7 o'clock. He said, I'm really sorry. And then he also said, by the way, because I don't want you to be waiting there for no reason, why don't you get yourself a glass of wine or two, and I'll meet you there. And I was like, sure, fine, no problem. So I go to the restaurant, and I order 1 glass of wine. It's maybe about now 6:20, 6:25. I finish it. Steve is still not there. Then the waiter comes and offers me another glass of wine, and I'm like, well, I might as well, because I feel like I'm waiting forever. So I have another glass of wine. And right now it's about 6:40, 6:45. I finish my glass, and finally Steve shows up with flowers as a sorry. And I'm like, okay, well, that's not bad. But he shows up. He shows up like he's in a rush. Like, doesn't like hug me. He's just like, here's the flowers, and like throws it on the table. And I'm just like, okay. But I don't say anything. You know, maybe he was just in a rush and just wanted to get things going, whatever. So Steve and I, we finally have dinner. It was a great dinner. And then came time to pay the bill. Now, the waiter comes and he puts the tab down, and it's one piece of paper. He puts the tab down and Steve stops him before the tab hits the table. Okay? Steve says, "I'm really sorry, sir. Do you mind splitting up the bill? I apologize, I should have told you before." And the waiter's like, "Okay, that's fine." Then Steve continues to say this, okay? "By the way, this lady had 2 glasses of wine before I got here. Could you make sure that those glasses go on her bill?" You guys, I was so shocked. I was like, I was so shocked, and I think he knew how shocked I was, because like, I'm paying for the wine you told me to get because you were running late. And he said to me, like, I thought this in my head, and he had said to me, he said, "You know, Jennie, I've been dating a lot, and the truth is that dating is so expensive, so I hope you don't mind that you pay for your glasses of wine." Right. So at the end of the day, I paid for it. It's not like I was strapped on cash and I wasn't looking for a free dinner. So I said, fine, I'll pay for it. And then I chose to never answer Steve's phone call ever again. And he called me multiple times to go on a second date. And I just said, no, I'm not ever going on a date with you. And there you have it. That is one of the worst dates I have ever been on in my whole entire life. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all down below, or you can catch me on all my social media, which is right here. That's at kiss.jennie. That's spelled kiss.jennie, Jennie with an I-E. Or if you want to catch me in my last video, click right here. Or if you want to subscribe, just click right here. I upload videos every Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and I will see you in my next video. Bye-bye.